Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, July the 13th. Two big weather stories across the nation over the next several days. First of all, upper level ridging will intensify over the southwestern states. That will bring about an extreme heat wave across places like California into Arizona over the next several days. Kind of builds up over the next few days, probably peaking over the upcoming weekend. Meanwhile, an unsettled weather pattern is certainly returning to the eastern U.S., and it looks like it will include some more heavy downpours and strong to severe thunderstorms for places like the mid-Atlantic region, the northeastern U.S., places that don't need additional heavy rainfall. But indeed, that looks like that will be on the table over this extended active time period that begins later today and continues certainly right through the upcoming weekend, again, across much of the eastern third of the nation. Here is the last 30-day map across the nation for the temperature anomalies, and it's actually been a cool 30-day period relative to normal, about a half a degree below normal over the past 30 days from June the 12th to July the 11th, with the only exception really being across southeastern New Mexico and much of Texas and Louisiana, where it's been a relatively warm 30-day time period, but much of the rest of the nation, cooler than normal conditions right in this region over the last 30 days. Again, this is from about the middle of June to the middle of July. Northwestern U.S., northeastern U.S. also slightly above normal, but again, overall, we're looking at about a half a degree below normal over the lower 48 during the last 30-day time period. Well, let's take a look at NOAA's Storm Prediction Center outlook for the probability of severe weather over the next few days. This is actually for today, Thursday into Thursday night, and certainly an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeastern U.S., and absolutely some of these storms later today into tonight can be on the strong to severe side, and it certainly can be some heavy downpours as well. For the most part, we're talking about to the north and west of I-95 later today into tonight, but watch out for strong storms and downpours later today, and that threat continues westward across the Tennessee Valley and all the way into the Central Plains. Again, a very active weather pattern shaping up and now extending back into the Mid-Atlantic region and the northeastern part of the nation. Let's jump ahead 24 hours. This is the outlook for tomorrow, and basically continuation of some possibility of some strong thunderstorms across that Mid-Atlantic I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City, all the way up into southern New England, and a continuation of the possibility of strong to severe weather out across the heartland in the Central Plains on Friday and Friday night. Let's jump ahead another 24 hours, and this is the way it looks on Saturday into Saturday night, and really again anywhere from the middle of the country to the East Coast, chance of some strong storms, and especially for the Ohio Valley on Saturday into Saturday night, chance for some strong to severe thunderstorm activity. So bottom line, a very active weather pattern setting up once again for much of the eastern half of the nation going forward. Really begins today in the Mid-Atlantic region in the northeast U.S., and it continues for the next several days, at least through the upcoming weekend. Well, let's talk about some of the players on the field. And again, big stories across the nation over the next several days. The heat building up across the southwestern U.S. with intensifying upper level ridge, and the very unsettled weather pattern that returns to the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., and really much of the eastern half of the nation over the next several days. And by the way, at the same time that upper level ridge builds across the southwestern states, we have this unusual, unseasonable upper level trough situated over the Hudson Bay region of Canada. That really is preventing any kind of a heat wave across the northern plains, the upper part of the Midwest, and pretty much close to normal for much of the time, even into the Mid-Atlantic northeastern U.S. over the next 5 or 10 days or so. But here is that upper level ridge, and what we're looking at here is actual heights here, not height anomalies, but actual heights. And I kind of wanted to show the big picture here across North America as it stands right now. So again, intensifying upper level ridge here over the southwestern states, but at the same time, upper level trough situated over the Hudson Bay. And we'll just move forward here and watch the movement of both of these systems over the next several days. Here we are now, 48 hours from now, from Thursday morning all the way into Saturday morning. Still, that upper level ridge intensifies over California. That may end up being where the hottest temperatures are, where the most extreme heat occurs relative to normal. California, with that upper level ridge sitting right on top early in the upcoming weekend. But look at that upper level low, still sitting and spinning over the Hudson Bay region of Canada. Unusual for this time of the year. And again, it keeps much of the northern U.S. at or below normal temperature-wise here over the next several days. We'll continue to move forward here, and much the same pattern here. Again, we're looking at actual 500 millibar heights all the way into the early part of next week. Still, strong upper level ridge over the southwestern states, strong upper level low over south central Canada, keeping a very active weather pattern across the northern and eastern U.S. and temperatures at or below normal across the northern plains, upper part of the Midwest, and much of the Great Lakes region. Well, in fact, let's take a look at how all this translates to the 850 millibar temperature anomalies across the continental U.S. going forward here. Beginning of the day here, we actually have some cool conditions to start off the day in California. In fact, I checked a little while ago. There were a couple near record lows across the coastal region of California. But they are going to experience much hotter weather over the next several days, probably peaking over the upcoming weekend with some extreme heat over California, with that upper level ridge intensifying right over the state by the middle or latter part of the upcoming week. But cooler than normal conditions as we begin the day here on Thursday, July 13th, across the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and throughout the Great Lakes region. And let's move forward here rather quickly here. And again, we'll see the heat building up southwestern states from Texas all the way to California. But look at that chilly air mass relative to normal by the time we get to Saturday afternoon up across the northern plains in the south central Canada, all associated with that upper level low that's sitting and rotating in the south central part of Canada. But here comes the heat wave for California. And keep in mind, they have tremendous snowpack still in California, so certainly there'll be a lot of snow melt with this heat wave across California during the upcoming weekend. Tioga Pass, for example, Yosemite National Park, still closed. It's the latest that road has been closed in the summer season. We're now into the middle part of July because of tremendous snowpack that continues to this day. Tioga Pass entrance into Yosemite National Park continues to be closed, and again, latest in the season for that to be the case. But a lot of snow melt will take place this weekend with those very, very high temperatures. Here we go now into the day on Sunday, and again, the worst of the heat wave relative to normal likely to be California, maybe spilling out over into Nevada as well, and certainly Arizona, Utah, and all the way up into the Pacific Northwest. It'll be hotter than normal. But at the same time, take a look at this colder than normal weather across the northern plains, south central Canada, all the way into the Great Lakes region over the upcoming weekend. We'll go out a little bit farther in time into the early part of next week. This is all the way out into Tuesday, and much the same pattern, upper level ridging sitting out over the southwestern states. That is where the hotter than normal conditions will be, and that upper level low still having an impact across the northern U.S. with below normal temperatures all the way into the early part of next week. Well, let's now take a look at the 500 millibar vorticity field using that North American viewpoint, because I really want to focus in on the widespread impact of this upper level low situated right here. And what it will do over the next several days is push spokes of energy around the base of that trough. Really, the low itself is situated as we begin the day here on Thursday, right in this region right here, and it just will send spokes of energy across the base of that trough over the next few days, and that will keep it very unsettled throughout the eastern half of the nation, probably for the next at least 5 days or so. So we'll take a look at this rotation here as we move forward here. This is now 24 hours from now, tomorrow morning. There it is, still sitting and spinning over the Hudson Bay region of Canada. Go out farther in time, Saturday morning, all the way into Sunday morning. And there it is. And again, this is keeping temperatures at or below normal across the northern plains, the upper Midwest, into the Great Lakes, and it's sending spokes of energy, vorticity short waves, we call them short waves of energy, rotating around the base of the large-scale trough, and that helps to keep it very active, very unsettled in the eastern part of the nation. And any one of those systems can produce some heavy downpours and some strong to severe thunderstorms in the eastern states in coming days. Let's keep moving forward here all the way into the early and middle part of next week. This is all the way out to next Tuesday, and finally we go into the middle of next week, and there's still some signs of that upper level low over southeastern Canada by this time, and kind of another system kind of going to follow on its heels into the south central part of Canada. Meanwhile, upper level ridging continues to dominate the scene in the southwestern part of the nation. Well, let's get back to the continental viewpoint here across the nation, looking at the surface forecast maps by the 0Z run of the GFS, and we'll see, especially in the PM hours, the afternoon and evening hours, this green just expands in coverage with give it a few hours of daytime heating, and by afternoon and evening you have a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity. Here we go into the afternoon here and evening, and notice we mentioned this in yesterday's video. Anytime you see yellow or reds or orange depicted here in the precipitation forecast by this particular model, or all the model forecasts on this website, that indicates some heavy rainfall. So here we go over the DC metro area. Later today into early tonight, the possibility of some heavy downpours. And really, you can extend that threat up across Pennsylvania and New Jersey as well, and all the way into the northeastern states later today and tonight. And here we go into the day on Friday. Things tend to settle down in the overnight hours. You lose the impact of that daytime heating in the overnight hours. But all it takes is a few hours of heating on Friday morning, and voila, you get this expansion, increase in coverage of the greens. And here we go, some heavy rainfall depicted here over the Delmarva later tomorrow night. Certainly that threat of heavy downpours can extend all the way up across Philadelphia, New York City, down to DC on Friday and Friday evening, and there can be some strong to severe thunderstorm activity not only in the Mid-Atlantic but across New England as well. Of course, many spots in the Mid-Atlantic, northeastern U.S. had some tremendous rainfall in this last unsettled time period. So that's the last thing we need, is some more heavy downpours. Unfortunately, that is on the table in this extended active period coming up. And that threat of heavy rain extends all the way down across the Tennessee Valley, south central U.S., and into the Midwest as well on Friday and Friday night. Here we go. Settles down overnight, Friday night into Saturday, and then picks back up again all the way across the eastern states come Saturday evening. Threat of some more heavy downpours and some strong thunderstorms as well. We'll go all the way into the latter part of the weekend. Here we go on Sunday afternoon, even depicting some heavy rainfall across New England, right in those areas like Vermont, for example, that suffered through the heavy downpours a few days ago. This is Sunday afternoon forecast map, and into Sunday evening, again, the threat for some heavy downpours and strong thunderstorms, not only across New England, but the Mid-Atlantic as well, all the way down into the southeastern part of the nation. We go all the way into the early part of next week, and here is the center of that cooler than normal air mass at this time. And again, whenever we've talked about this, whenever you have a cooler than normal air mass this time of the year with the strength of the sun, that spells trouble. It spells instability in the atmosphere, possibility of some severe weather and heavy downpours. And here we go all the way into Tuesday time frame, Monday, Tuesday time frame, and again, the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms all the way into Tuesday night. And meanwhile, out across the southwestern states, a thermal low. It's so hot out there, and continuation of relatively dry conditions and very hot. Again, watch out for the extreme heat being really focused on California over the upcoming weekend into the early part of next week. So that's it for now for ArcfieldWeather.com. This has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.